Good evening, everybody. Hey, it's Sharonda here. We're ready to get Vince in the Red Couch Conversation. We've heard a lot of conversation about it being Nurses Week, Teacher Appreciation Week, so I thought I'll combine the two. Today, I have a nurse and an educator, Miss Catherine Bray. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And thank you for having me on the Red Couch.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Listen, guys, when I talk about nurses and caregivers and people that you're going to see at the hospital, the first person you're going to see and greet you after registration, they get all your insurance information, is probably going to be that nurse. So, Miss Bray, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Okay, so I know it's Nurses Appreciation Week, and you know that I appreciate you. You've always been our first responder, so thank you for all the work and your service.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
How many years have you been in the field?
I've been a registered nurse for 39 years.
39 years. Wow.
39.
39 years as a registered nurse. And have you had opportunities to work in different places, or has it been all in one place?
No, I started out at Mariah Parham when I became a registered nurse. I started on the surgical unit. And then after 3 years, I transitioned to the intensive care unit. I've also done some ER nursing as well. So with that, I love all aspects of nursing, except maybe OB. That's not my love.
Well, you know what? But if you had to do it, you'd do it.
I would do it. If I had to deliver a baby, I'll be there to assist with that.
And so with working for 39, let's round that up, 40 years of being in direct care with nurses, you also took a different path and became an educator of nurses.
Yes, I have been an adjunct faculty instructor at Vance Graham Community College for 25 years. I have since retired from that position, but I did love every aspect of teaching. I always said that I had the best of both worlds. I had the best of being at the bedside, taking care of patients, and also educating nurses, mentoring them to follow in my footsteps, to be the next generation of nurses that I love doing that as well.
You know, a lot of times when I'm out in the community, somebody would say, guess who my instructor is? Guess who I did clinicals with? And you have been the face of that for a long, long time, 25 years.
Yes, I have.
And so, again, thank you for your service as an educator as well.
Well, thank you.
So tell me, how did you get into nursing?
Well, I remember from a little girl. I remember being 13 years old. I had a great aunt that was very ill, and she needed some assistance in care for her. She was blind, Mom Carrie, I'll never forget that. And that's when I started thinking about being a nurse. I went to take care of her for a whole summer. And she told me, she said, you're gonna be blessed. You're gonna be blessed. And she said, continue doing what you're doing. And from then on, I knew that was in my heart to do that. But over the years, I finished high school. I didn't take the traditional route, go to college out of high school. I had 2 children, I got married, and then when I was 25, I said it's time for me to complete my goal. So I said it's never too late to go back to school. It's never too late to learn. So after after being 25, going back to school, that was a transition. My children were smaller, but I did it. And it was hard work and dedication, and also having that support system. You have to have a support system along the way.
Okay. So I love when my guests drop nuggets. Let me tell you something. It's never too late to continue and follow your dreams, to achieve your dreams.
Exactly.
And to go after that one thing that you want. Being like she said, she didn't do the traditional route. She had a family, she got married, she established herself. But then said, hey, I didn't deny myself. I went on back and became a nurse. So was it a one course here or there, working a little bit, or were you able to just go to school?
I did not have to work, so that was a blessing. I went to Southside Virginia Community College, which was the second year that they have started their associate degree in nursing. And I got my degree as associate nurse in 17 months. And after I took the NCLEX, the State Board of Nursing, to be licensed as a registered nurse, that's when I went to work.
Okay.
And then 10 years later, I went back to school. I went to Old Dominion University to receive my bachelor's degree in nursing. Then 10 years later, as I got into education, I went back and got my master's degree in nursing education, also at Old Dominion University.
Okay, so this is a build upon a step. Hey, you can start
Yes.
here at this level,
Mhm.
start here at this level. So I did hear you say, hey, don't overlook those community colleges because that's
Yes.
a great place to start. It's
Yes, it is.
affordable, it's convenient, you can have your life, you can do the community college. So that's a shout out for community college, no matter where you are. Look into their programs because I too started out at the community college level.
Mhm.
And so please don't overlook going that route. So let's go back to working, and then 10 years later, say, I want a little bit more. I want to be qualified just a little bit more. And obtaining that bachelor's, and so that what made you, was that the BSN?
Yeah, BSN.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I love being at the bedside. I never dreamed of leaving the bedside in nursing. So, bachelor's degree, I started doing some teaching at the hospital. And I kind of got a little feel for that while working mentoring nursing, precepting nursing. I started teaching advanced cardiac life support classes to nurses, doctors, paramedics in the hospital, and also pediatric advanced life support nursing. So that was my stepping stone. I felt that getting those advanced degrees was going to help me achieve more things that I wanted to do as far as education. Now, as far as leaving the bedside, that was never in my mind and my heart to do that.
And you have it.
And I haven't. After 39 years, I'm still at bedside nursing and intensive care. And I always say that nursing is a gift. Okay, it's not just a job. It's a gift, and it's a gift from God. God give us this
Ministry.
gift. He is, and He is the ultimate healer. But He assists us as nursings in that healing process. And when you care and show compassion and empathy, that's your reward. So there are many rewards there in being a nurse.
Okay, okay. So we are transitioning a little bit more in academia and say now I want to go for my master's, okay?
Yes.
And what was the difference? You know, what was that push for you to go for a little bit further? 10 years later.
10 years later, I was teaching at Vance Granville, and they said that, well, you know, Kathy, if you want to continue to teach at the college by year 2010, I believe, you have to have your master's degree. And I said, I'm too old to go back to school. You know, I was like 50, in my 50s. I said, I'm too old. But then, you know what? I got that gump. I said, this is what I wanted to do. It was tough. It was hard. I still work full time. I still taught at the bedside. I was at the bedside and also did teaching at the college as well. And it was hard, but after 2 years, I did it. I got my master's degree in education because I knew that I wanted to continue teaching. That was part of something that I love doing as well.
Okay, okay. So we're looking at a progression. And so, listen, if you have a goal in life to aspire to be whatever it is you want to aspire to become, just know you don't have to get there overnight. She's talking about a journey of start here, add this, add that, and still doing it. So if she can do it, I know you can too. Let's talk a little bit about what is your contribution to new nurses? What would you tell those new nurses that's out here saying, hey, it's tough, I want to give up? What we're going to say to those nurses?
No, I say never give up on your dreams. And like I said, nursing school is hard. It's really hard, but you got to be committed. And once you have that commitment and that support system, just keep pushing. And when you get out of nursing, when you get out of nursing school and you take the NCLEX and you start on a particular unit, make sure you have a good mentor, a good preceptor, that they take you under their wings and show you the right way. And show you, when you have finished nursing school, there's still so much more to learn. I'm still learning. You have so much more to learn. So once you finish nursing school, don't come out and think you know everything, okay? But you have to have a mentor, someone that's going to help you and assist you in becoming that great nurse that you aspire to be.
Okay. So when we're looking at that next phase, and this is for our nurses that, hey, I'm in it, I'm thinking about maybe this is not for me. But what are you going to say to that 13-year-old that's sitting there helping her aunt and saying, hey, I want to be a nurse? What are you going to say to that 13-year-old?
Well, if not everybody's cut out to be a nurse, okay? You have to have it in your heart, and you have to care. That's the one thing I used to always tell my students. I could help you become knowledgeable. I can help you to be competent, but I can't teach you the caring aspect of nursing. And that's something you have to have it in your heart. So if you have that 13-year-old that's aspiring to be a nurse, feel like they want to care for people, you don't give up on that dream. Now you can go when you're in high school. Now you can take nurse occupation classes. Now I do have one granddaughter that's following in my footsteps, and I told her. She told me she wanted to be a nurse. I said, well, go and take that education class at the high school. Okay, work in a nursing home over the summer, and then you tell me if you want to continue to be a nurse. Go to nursing school. And guess what? She did. And she has completed her journey as well. So that was something that I said, don't do it because your grandma's a nurse and I might want you to be a nurse. And she said, no, I'm doing it because this is what I want to do. You know.
So the legacy continues.
My legacy continues. So I had other grandchildren that was hoping that was going to follow in my footsteps. But, you know, not everybody's cut out to be a nurse.
That's right.
And so I didn't encourage them. I encouraged them to go the route that they wanted to do when they went off to college and to do other things. I encouraged that. So it's important to do what you love and what you have in your heart to do.
So what I hear you saying is that it's great to have someone say, hey, I want to go through this. I saw you do it. Encourage that person. Go for it. But this is a nurse, career nurse, 39-year nurse, master level nurse, who also pours into her family, pours into her grandchildren, her children, and all the nieces and nephews that comes along with the great-grandchildren and so on. And so whether you're in nursing or education or whatever your career path will be, you're going to run into a nurse.
Yes.
You're going to run into a nurse. And so this is a field, and I know that even going to the hospital at the emergency room level, when you're sitting there, you're trying to figure out, it's that nurse that brings you comfort.
That's that nurse. The first face you're going to see, like Sharonda said, after you leave registration, that nurse is going to be the first face you see, you know, and you want that nurse to be caring, to be compassionate towards you. And that leaves a lasting impression on a person. And I always have a quote from Maya Angelou, and she said that people may forget what you said. People may forget what you did, but they never forget how you made them feel. And I carry that with me, and I always tell my students that as well. But never forget how you make a patient feel. And that's what they don't forget.
That's right.
You know,
That's
they
right.
may not know that you know everything about that medication you're hanging, you doing that dressing perfectly on the sterile technique, that you know everything about that medication, but they do know the little things, how you made them feel, the extra time you took to bring them something to the bedside, the extra time you took to comb their hair or to make them comfortable in bed. Those are the things that they remember.
That's right. And not to say that doctors don't give them that too, but it's that nurse. If you have a good nurse, you're going to have a good experience. And I'm going to speak just on personal experience. And I know, like, that nurse come in, and I don't want to limit, because I know a good CNA can make you feel good.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to all the CNAs out there, because those are some hard workers. And I just want to say, you know, for the CNAs that you've worked with over the years, and I know that sometimes it's easy for us to say, go get the nurse. But the CNA, 1 and 2, right there, they are amazing.
Yes, they are. And I've had the honor of working with quite a few amazing certified nurse assistants. And I take my hat off to them. They work hard, and they're our backbone. They really are. Now, we don't have that luxury in intensive care, having a certified nurse assistant, but I see them on the units when I go to my clinicals. When I was a nurse on the surgical unit, I had some very good certified nurse assistants, and they're our backbone. They're the one assisting us. They're the one helping us with that patient care. And patient care is very, very important.
I want to stay with that for a second. What would you encourage that CNA to do if they want to go to the next level?
Well, you know, I have talked to quite a few nursing assistants about that, and they said, they always call me Miss Bray. I said, please call me Kathy. No, Miss Bray, you know, I don't think I can do it. And I have encouraged quite a few nurse assistants to forward their education. But if they love what they're doing, if they say, I'm happy where I am, then I don't try to, you know, encourage them to do anything differently. But if they say, you know, I'm happy where I am, I love what I do, I really don't want to go back to school. I don't want to further my education. Well, if you're happy, loving, and doing what you do, then I take my head off to you. I honor that. I don't try to say, well, you know, you need to go to nursing school. I've never done that to any of them. I continue to encourage them and let them know what a great job they're doing, that I appreciate them. They're important too.
And that's what I want all you nurses that's on a different level. Remember your help, your backbone. Because we can't do, and y'all know I always put myself in people's shoes. We can't do the work that we do without the people who's helping us. And so that help will help that patient feel that much more comfortable and confident in the care that they're receiving in that facility. So as we move along, I want to get back, because this is also teacher appreciation. And I think that we sometimes think about teachers in form of our public schools or our, education system for our children. But even in the college level, and I know that you've had a lot of experiences working in academia with teaching and having our nurses go and further their education. When you're doing the clinicals, explain to us what is that? What is clinicals?
Okay, clinicals, you have two areas that you have to do your classroom. And then you come to the hospital, or maybe a nursing home, but for Vance Granville, we do the local hospitals. We do go to Duke and UNC and Rec sometime. We have a lot of clinicals at Mariah Parham. So they come to work like they're really coming to work, okay? They come, they prepare for their assignment, they get an assignment, they get a patient assignment, and they have to look up all the information about that patient. They have to know about, if they're passing medications, they have to know about that medication. And over the years, my students know that I will drill you on that medication. So you're gonna have to know what that medication is for, why you give it, because that patient may ask you that.
Exactly.
And I've had quite a few patients say, well, what is this medication you give me? So my students have to know that. They've looked up that medication. They know about that medication. They're doing bedside nursing. They're doing what we call, I don't really call it CNA work, but they've given their patient a bath. They're getting them up, they're turning them, they're repositioning them, they're ambulating them, they're doing everything that a registered nurse would do. But they're under the guidance and instructions of a clinical instructor.
Okay. So when you're in the facility, hospital, nursing, wherever you are, and you see a nurse in training come through, give them a little patience, give them a little grace, because they're learning, they're the future.
Yes.
They're going to get to this 39-year-old mark here, but for right now, let's give them that. Can I share the experience that I had once?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so I had an experience where I was a patient in the hospital, right? And one of the things that I had some GI issues, and the nurse that came in overpowered the room with her perfume, and so it triggered me to like vomit and all this stuff, right? Because I couldn't deal with that. And one of the things I've noticed about you over the career is like, that is a big no-no for you. Do not wear that perfume. So if y'all had her as an instructor, y'all know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, exactly. They do that. No perfume lotions. I said you can use lotion, but no, it can overpower patients.
It did.
And I've had patients that they have a reaction to it. They have allergies to it, and they can have a reaction to that. And that's not something you want to happen to your patient that you take care of that day. So thank you for bringing that part up. But yes, they know I give them a list of things when they come into clinical that they shouldn't do or should be doing. So they know the expectations. So they know what's expected of them, and they know what they should be coming prepared to do when they come to clinical. And thank you for saying that. But that is so true, Sharonda.
Yes,
and
yes.
That does happen.
And so if you ever in a situation where something didn't feel right, sit right, or whatever, you go ahead and ring that bell and you let that charge nurse know,
Yes.
hey, this is not that it's not a good nurse, it's just that something is not right and it's probably doing more harm than good. Because that's what I did, because I had a good first responder over here that was like, you can't smell like that in here with my patients.
That's so true.
Yeah, as a backstory to it.
And thank you for sharing that.
So let's talk a little bit about the charge nurse. Okay, so what is that role? And I know you've had that role as well.
Yes, I've had that role as a charge nurse on also the surgical unit that I worked on, also intensive care. The charge nurse, she comes in and she makes the assignment for the other nurses. And we try to make sure that, sometimes the ratio doesn't always fit on the unit that you work in. Sometimes you may have to take more patients than the ratio is on that unit. But we try to make sure that we're not going to give you a lot of patients that's very ill or very sick that you may have to devote a lot of time to. So we look at what's going on with the patients before we make that assignment. The charge nurse also assists the other nurses in the care of the patients. And you want a charge nurse that you can come to and ask questions. That's knowledgeable, okay? We bounce things off each other all the time. Okay, and I'm not sitting here saying that I know everything. Sometimes I go to another nurse, hey, can you come in and check this with me? So that charge nurse is a resource person. And you want them to be someone that's knowledgeable, that can assist you and help with your critical thinking. That's very, very important. Critical thinking is very, very important aspect of nursing. And like I said, if you're not sure about something, go to your charge nurse. And if that charge nurse doesn't know, and more than likely she's going to find that out for you. If she's a good charge nurse, she's going to use her other resources to find, well, I'm not sure if I can help you with that right now. No, but let me see what I can find out. So that charge nurse is your resource person. That charge nurse should be someone that's going to stand up for you, that's going to be there for you, that's going to assist with patient care, and all those things are very, very important.
Okay. So as we know, this being Nurse Appreciation Week, and I know that it's a lot of great nurses out there. In our family alone, we have several nurses, and I just want to acknowledge them that you all have done great work. I'm very proud of Desma, Nora. I want to give just an honorary mention to my aunt, my beloved aunt Margie, who's went on, but she was a nurse as well. And there's many, many more out there. I know I have the Malum twins and a couple more people, and that I love dearly. So if I didn't name you by name, don't worry about it. I love you, and you know who you are, and I appreciate all the nurses. And just know that you're not doing the job that you're not appreciated for.
Yes.
So I just want to say this. I appreciate you. And on behalf of Riddick Events, I just want to make sure I give you a small token to just show that we appreciate all that you do. Not only for the patients that you see and you come in contact with at the college level or at the hospital level, but you first responded when you wasn't on duty. And I remember some of those things, and those are some of the things that, you're in a crisis situation. Is there a nurse or a medical professional? Your hand always goes up. No hesitation, that good Samaritan. And so we want to acknowledge that, because today is a great day to say thank you. So I have a little token for you. So y'all wait one sec. So on behalf of the staff of Riddick Events, we want to give our nurse a little token of our appreciation and a t-shirt that says, act like a nurse and think like a boss. Because as she said, critical thinking is key. So when you're in that room and you're in that role as a nurse, you got to think like that. You got to go in there, you got to say, hey, I am making this thing happen because this person right here is counting on me and they're depending on me and they need me. So I know all the patients that you've had the opportunity to work with and their families. I know you get the accolades. I know you get it, but on today, on behalf of Riddick Events, we just want to say thank you, because without you being our first responder, waking you up at night,
that's no problem,
and taking all our calls with a smile, I just want to say we appreciate you. Is there anything you want to say to our family out there?
Well, as being a instructor, an educator, I had this poem that I always give my students, and I just want to take a minute and read about what it means to be a nurse.
Please.
Being a nurse means you will never be bored. You will always be frustrated. You will be surrounded by challenges. So much to do in so little time. You will carry immense responsibility and carry little authority. You will step into people's lives and you will make a difference. Some will bless you, some will curse you. You will see people at their worst or at their best. You will never cease to be amazed at people's capacity of love, courage, and endurance. You will see life begin and you will see life end. You will experience resounding trumpets and devastating failures. You will cry a lot. You will laugh a lot. You will know what it is to be human and what it is to be humane.
Oh.
Yes, I found this poem and I give this when I was doing clinicals to all of my nurses to carry with them.
Oh, wow.
And I pulled this out today to bring because all these things that I just said, it means it's a lot involved in being a nurse. And like I said, some would bless you and some would curse you. But you take that in stride and do what you have to do for that patient to make them feel better.
Wow. Listen, guys, 39 years in counting.
Yes.
She hasn't.
I was
hung up
supposed to
a-
retire. I was supposed to, but my love for nursing and the ability that I can continue to do it, I'm blessed in that aspect.
Okay.
That I continue. God has blessed me to continue to be able to be at the bedside. And so as long as God continues to bless me, that I'm able to be at the bedside, that's where I'll be.
What's to say? You haven't hung up your stethoscope?
No, I have my stethoscope with me. I
Haven't
haven't hung
hung it up
that
yet.
up. No, I haven't hung that up yet.
That's amazing. And I hope that everybody's out there in the nursing field have a long career, a stellar career, just like Miss Kathy Bray has had. And I mean, when I tell you, in over half my life, I've always known her to be this amazing nurse. And your encounters with her at the local hospital, at the Van Scramble level, or just in the community, I know that you two have had one experience. So, on behalf of all of our family and friends out here in social media world, we say thank you, Miss Bray. You've done it.
And thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You know I love you.
Love you too.
And listen, guys, do like we always do. Come talk to us before you talk yourself out of your next event. Riddick Events will be here waiting for you. Have a good night.